Thanks for tuning in. I'd like to talk to you today a little bit about weight loss and the word no. You go like, where is the relationship between the two? I'll tell you. Ever since you came on this planet and, just getting from a baby to a toddler, when you are a toddler, and this is not my research, you can do your own research online, just Google it. A toddler hears about 400 times per day the word no. No, you can't do that. No, 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 no. Unfortunately, this is a negative planet. This is just the way it is. Again, do your research. 75% of the messages that we get from our loving parents and caretakers are all negative. And you may not perceive it that way, but they are. So 400 times per day, a toddler hears the word no. That means that by the time you are a teenager, just a young teenager, 12, 13 maybe, you have heard the word no approximately 1.5 million times. That leaves a mark, especially in the first 7 years of your life. That negative emotion leaves a mark, and that's not who you are. That is not who you are, because you come into this world passionate, enthusiastic, positive, full of life, full of sparkle, everything. And then it's just chipping away. No, no, no. And you somehow have to find your way of bucking the current. Is that easy? No. Can you do it? Yeah, but most people, unfortunately, fail at the effort, I have to tell you. That's why we have so many challenges in this lifetime with the people around us. Obesity, anxiety, depression, addictions, you name it. And it all stems back to that period that you were your toddler and you were not able to logically comprehend the word no, because it came from the inadequacy from your parents. They didn't know how to handle you. They didn't know how to differently communicate with you. So there you are. Toast, right? Toast. You know what? I was raised the same way. So don't think that I think that you're different. You're not. We're all in the same boat. But here is the thing. Here is the difference. I've started to pull myself out of it at a certain point, and I just so want to help you to pull yourself out of it, because this is not you. This is learned behavior. This negative cloud, this negative veil that rests upon you, that gives you that skewed picture of yourself, is not really who you are. I mean, you didn't feel happy, so what did you do? You had these negative emotions come to you. You allowed them in because you didn't know how to close that door, how to put on that Teflon coating, not to allow those negative emotions have any effect on you. You didn't know how to deal with them. You didn't know when you were 3 years old to tell your parents or your surroundings, I don't want to hear the word no anymore, because otherwise I'm going to walk out the door. You first of all, the logic wasn't there, and secondly, you had no clue because you didn't know any better. You were expecting this to be normal loving behavior, and it was not. It was unfortunately not. So here you are now with this negative undercurrent. And what did you do as a child? And as you were getting out of your growing years, as you were getting past 6, past 7, what you started to do, you felt those negative emotions and you go like, what the hell am I going to do with that? So negative emotions usually are in the solar plexus, are in the stomach. And so you try to suppress them. You try to eat them away. You think if I just stuff my face, suppress them in my stomach, I don't have to feel them. No, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. The only thing that worked was that you were getting overweight, plump, fat, obese, clinically obese, because if you do not know what went on, you can't stop it. I mean, if you don't realize, you can say, like, yeah, I had a terrible childhood. Yeah, okay. Most of us had a dysfunctional childhood, but it's now up to you as an adult realizing that you have certain challenges now, being overweight, fat, obese, that you can do a lot of things about that. You probably have been on a diet, various diets, only to realize that, yeah, you know what, it works for a year, 1.5 years, and then it packs on it again. Yeah, of course it does. Because you can muscle the body for a certain period. But first of all, every diet gets really boring really fast. And especially when you are not allowed to have what you crave, and your cravings again come from your childhood because you crave the goody foods like vanilla ice cream, cinnamon bread, mac and cheese, filament. You know your favorites. But you all know that your favorites are loaded with calories, with sugars, with carbs, with whatever. So if you are not allowed to have them, you want them even more all the time. The moment you feel a little bit not happy, you grab the chocolate, you grab whatever, a donut, whatever, pizza, you name it. So how is that then working? What are you supposed to do? Well, first of all, it comes to the observing. When are you craving certain foods, either sweet or savory? And what is your thought pattern at that moment? And as I said before, observe yourself, write it down, and you can flip it around and you can talk it to yourself. That's one way to help yourself view yourself in a different way. You can praise yourself. Every time you start to feel good about yourself, you've done something good, say, yeah, I did it. And it doesn't have to be huge leaps. No, small things. Appreciate the small because it will accumulate. Observe yourself. Stop suppressing your feeling, your emotions. Because here's the thing. When you observe, when you recognize, when you acknowledge your emotions, when you embrace your emotions, no matter how negative they are, you own them. And you can only change, fix, alter that what you have acknowledged, that what is yours. Otherwise, you cannot, because you have not called for ownership for something. So observe yourself, write it down. And this has nothing to do with having a lot of money or no money. That is an underlying issue. That's all to do with the deserving, not feeling good enough, etc., etc. Here's the thing. You may have a feeling of not deserving, not feeling good enough, and that comes from shame from your childhood. You were shamed in your childhood because you were different to the norm that you were raised in. So you felt shame, and you translated that, because you didn't really know what shame was, you translated that in not feeling good enough, not deserving, not worthy of anything. Money, love, attention, you name it. You didn't get it in your early childhood. You build up this wall and you're still screaming it from the rooftops. So what can you do? Well, these are deep issues, and I can help you with that if you like. Direct message me, contact me. This is what I do. This is what I love to help people with, because once you come back or go back to where it took place and you see what was happening in your early childhood. No fault of yours. Trust me, no fault of yours. You could not buck the current, as I said before. Once you know that, you can deal with it, get even with it, let it go. That's the most important thing. Let it go. Let it go. So that you, underneath the shame and the guilt, there is this beautiful person without trauma, without guilt and shame. And I would like to help you get back to that person and then build it up again. Build up your emotions. I facilitate in helping you rebuild your emotions, that you're good enough, you're deserving, you're unlimited, you're omnipotent. That's what I do. So, this is it for today. Just listen to how many times, if you are a parent, how many times you say no to your own child. And perhaps you could look for a different way of saying it. There are many, many ways to change that. I am not a child expert, but I know that there is a different way of talking to your child, reasoning, discussing things with your child. And you cannot start young enough. If you constantly say no, 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 well, look at yourself. You will see the results. Most likely you're going to create. This is hard, this is blunt, but when you check back, this is how it usually goes. I've just only been studying this for the past 35 years, so I have a little bit of experience. I'm not a PhD or whatever. I'm just studying ongoing. I don't want to go back into that PhD rhythm. It's not my cup of tea. So, remember, this is everything that I have learned from fantastic mentors. I put it in the blender, I put my sauce over it, and I present it to you, hoping that I somehow reach you and that you go like, oh, I know what she's talking about. Yeah, I know. And I'm going to do something about it. So, if you like it, click the like button. If you feel you can pass it on to somebody else who desperately needs to hear my message, please, thank you very much, do subscribe if you haven't done that yet. And if you don't like my videos, that's okay as well. I appreciate you anyway. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in. Take care.